Episode 10. Juan, aka Osborne, aka Ceremonious, from Los Angeles. He's a rapper, an artist, a painter, and a man of wisdom.
If you wanna get up, if you wanna get podcast.
Follow us on Instagram at hello Kopi.
Enjoy episode 10, ladies and gentlemen.
A lot of people go through some fucked up shit, don't get me wrong. And so I'm very grateful that I didn't go through a lot of what a lot of my peers might have gone through.
Okay. Okay. This is the Hello Kopi podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have Duan, right?
Oh, you can call me once only, bro. Ceremonious.
Ceremonious.
Yeah, even though it's Tuesday, happy Saturday.
Yeah.
Appropriate.
We are doing the podcast. It's Hello Kopi podcast, the one that will change the world 50 years from now.
Wow.
50 years from now, putting in the work right now, 2018. So, who are you, man? How young are you?
I actually just turned 34 in November.
34 years young, that is.
Word.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, you are from the...
Los Angeles, California, United States of America.
Yeah, okay. Creativity was a big part of your life. Was it empowered by the people you surround yourself with? Or were you naturally born creative? And was it easy to feel accepted as a young boy when you feel creative? Because at times when we're creative, we feel we're alone in this world. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
How was it like growing up? Yeah, going backtrack to that question.
Well, I have to think about that. Like, it's been a minute since I was young, or rather, a young boy.
Right.
Like I have two sons myself already now. You know, anytime I think about kids, I think about them. My childhood is in them now, and so that's what I also focus on and am concerned most about is them having freedom to, explore their own identity. I think that's very important for any budding creative because we all have a calling in this life, and that's outside of that survival mechanism that is America, that is capitalism.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of times that kind of can clash with the full, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? Realization.
Right.
The full realization of your true, I guess you could say, interest, your true purpose.
Uh-huh.
To answer your question, being creative did have a lot to do with my surroundings. I never really did anything to fit in. I always found myself sort of just standing out, or rather kind of like being an outcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I feel.
A lot of my homies, like, we just would just go do our own shit.
Right.
Just like have what we call them shits. I can't even tell you the name of them because it's so ratchet.
Yeah. 90s, early 90s or late 90s?
Let's see. So like around later 90s, like
later
96, 97, around the time Pac passed.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So
this is when Dre and Snoop was like on the scene. Then Pac popped out, but this was just following Bone. Yeah. Because Pac kind of like absorbed the torch from Bone, and he was running it for a minute, and then once he got shot, Bone just kind of like took the ranks back up. I remember the first block party I went to, man. Bone Thugs was there, bro, and like. That was one of the first albums I bought. And then I got the Soundgarden Black Hole Sun jump off.
Black Hole Sun.
That's my joint, dog.
Yeah.
Black Hole Sun.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Cornell, man. He's different, isn't it? His voice. Right.
Word. That and Nirvana.
Dude.
Yeah.
You see what music can bring us, man. Music brings people together, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The resonance, bro.
And I guess we all have the same type of upbringing, no matter where we come from.
The human condition.
Yeah, to the extreme condition, but we were molded to be what we are right now. You know what I mean?
I agree.
With our surroundings, I guess, environment and where we grew up.
That too, as well as the choices you make.
Yeah. But also, I see that media and the internet sort of gives a bit more of a twist, because you could be living in I don't know, in the edge town of Indonesia, but you're looking at what happens in L.A. as a young child, and you could be influenced or triggered by that.
Yeah, you kind of get the wrong sort of
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
You get
And
a different display depiction
yeah,
of the true
and
reality.
true. And also, you don't have to be from a certain place to actually feel how it's like to be from there because of the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, that's a good thing about sort of technology, or I guess you could say media communication right now. It's like it makes the world even smaller
Right.
to where I can come somewhere like Singapore, like Malaysia, like France, and it's like the backyard of my own community, but it's thousands of miles away.
Okay. Right. Going on to the actual topic was, why are you here, my friend?
Well, yeah,
Why are
man.
you here in Malaysia? How do you get here? What's your journey like?
I'm here like a show. I'm here to showcase my art, man.
What was the journey to reach Malaysia, man?
It's been a long time coming, man. I've been needing to get across seas for a while. You know, I always saw myself international with my art, painting. For one, I mean, my painting is my premier passion.
Painting.
Yes, sir.
Wow, I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah, a lot of people may not know that because
Yeah,
I don't want to have to stop painting.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like being that I have multiple and various interests artistically, and I translate my message as well as vision through diverse and assorted mediums. You know what I mean? I see everything in color, in paint, bro, in pigments.
Right.
You know, the mixture, the composition
I
of
understand.
of a conversation.
Right.
You know,
I feel you.
so that's really like what a lot of people may not realize about me. That is what really kind of drew me and draws me to different places because it's like I love the scenery, I love the landscape. You know what I mean? I wanna paint the sunset and from different angles of this lovely globe of which we reside on. You know.
So painting, art, music, right? Speaking of music, like rap.
Rap and music are two different things.
Okay, with rhythm and flow and rap in general, how comfortable are you with rapping from the scale of 1 to 10?
I
With
said,
freestyle, I mean.
now sit back and relax. We gonna take you back to a time when the facts made your brain react. From the heart of California, bound to change the map. Yo, we at hello, hello with Kopi
Or Milo.
or Milo. How insane is that? You couldn't change the facts. Watch the game get snatched from famous cats spitting brainless raps. Hip hop and
Word.
soul music bridge the language gap. If you can't hang with that, sit your anus back to the pavement. It pains him to say this. The same pain as David felt as he slayed men. I write rhymes, fight giants with the same pen. And I came in this game like fire to the cavemen.
Woo! Fire, bro.
Woo. Because really, like rapping, bro, or rather just this lyricism, instrumentation actually is what the art of rapping is, macking is, or rather rhyming is. And that's really why it is musical, because your voice is the first instrument.
Right.
So that's where the instrumentation comes in.
Right. Because I remember one of the track that you made with Luca, you spoke of you have to destroy and rebuild. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean that everything is absolute. And by saying that, I mean that you can't half do something. You know, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it full-fledged. I also mean that a lot of us try to do the least in order to get the most, when we should be doing the most and expecting the least.
Do more, put in more work, I guess. Simplify it.
Just kind of more of yourself. You know, you can do something very minute. You can do something extremely insignificant in your eyes, but if you're doing it from the right heart condition, and you're doing it and it's the real you, and you're doing it for the right intention, it can have a very great impact.
Right.
However, you can do a lot and have shit don't hardly make a nick on the surface.
Yeah, does one person have to know themselves before they start doing anything, or
Absolutely. Well, it's like to do anything right, you got to know how to do it, and the best way to learn is by practicing it.
mm,
Uh, everything is love. Life is love. God is
mm,
love, and love is light. So it's like you got to love yourself first in order to be able to love right. You know what I mean?
mm.
So, like you said, what was the question? You said you got to know yourself first.
Yeah, do we have to know ourselves to actually do anything at all, or should we just do what we want and then get to know ourselves? You know what I mean?
Either way, and as you mentioned, you're going to know yourself in the long run. After
Okay.
all, whatever you do, even if you're trying to avoid that confrontation,
Mm.
that realization, that reality, that moment of truth of you really having to come to terms and deal with who you are for real, you're going to come there regardless. Even if you're faking the whole way,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to know deep down.
Okay.
Because as I read somewhere, the way to wisdom is unfaltered endeavor. So no matter what you're doing, you're going to be learning.
Right. Okay. No matter what you do, you're gonna learn something, right? So, how do one person know themselves, man? How do they cut it short and try to get to know themselves? Do they have to speak internally? Do you have to have that meditation going on?
That is very important. And that's another, I guess you could say, bridge
Mm-hmm.
that uh, rhyming, hip hop kind of affords that person, that journeyer, that inner searcher, that I guess you could say world spirit, uh, that monologue, bro, that you can have with your own creativity, with your own consciousness, and not have it be like unbalanced and constructive,
Mm.
as well as enriching to you,
Mm.
as well as others that involve themselves, which what your voice is, because you are your voice.
Yes, we
You know what I
are.
mean? Knowing
Yeah, yeah.
yourself is like learning your voice.
Because sometimes we might be influenced by the surroundings. You know, we might.
You can't let that happen. You gotta fight. You know what I mean? You gotta stay true to yourself enough and authentic in your own resolve.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Outside of your social obligations and responsibilities and connections. Because they always gonna be there, but they only gonna be real and they gonna get strongest when you can be authentic, when you can be genuine.
Mm.
This is something I know. This is something that I have to, I guess you could say, advocate. I have to advocate it because it's like the kids deserve a chance at non-illusion. They deserve it, bro, because they gonna go crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like heavy to have to deal with for the everydayer. So that's why you got those that sort of set, I guess you could say, paths in place and make maneuvers to where those that just want to live and love and learn, they have the freedom to do that without being distracted by motherfucking advertisements and shit.
Mm-hmm. So when you say that you gotta be strong and be authentic, does that mean like you have to like lift your ego up and be yourself for a minute and stay true to who you are and like not be influenced by anyone or anything? Because you might lose yourself in the process. You know what I
I
mean?
think everybody's process is particular, is individual. The ego has its place, its importance in different constructs socially, especially business-wise.
Mm.
Uh, it's really what you can handle.
Mm.
If you can deal with being your own person in a world where everyone is what I'm saying, on a team or representing some sort of ideology or I guess you could say school of following of thought, then you just gonna know there's gonna be an ongoing battle. You know what I mean? And it's like you gotta pick your battles.
All right.
So it's really about what's important to you and what your motive is, even for, I guess you could say, just kind of like going against the grain. My motive is having that realization be intense, have it be, I guess you could say, universal enough to where I don't have to spend so much time doing it and, taking away from just everyday life, having fun, being able to have eye contact and not have it have to be a heavy mental sort of exchange.
Mm.
A lot of motherfuckers, these yogis, a lot of these, what is it called, environmentalists as well as transcendentalists. Man, these motherfuckers, bro, they be on some extra shit, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, they're extremists, I guess.
the
You know.
extremists.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to be careful not to become an extremist, bro.
Mm.
It's like everything is everything.
So you have to be balanced about it.
Yeah, balance is most important.
Right. Wow.
Like Lauryn Hill said.
Okay.
And that's another thing that brought me out to Singapore was the Lauryn Hill show, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
From where? Particularly before
I
Singapore.
came straight here from L.A.
Straight from LA.
Straight from L.A. to Singapore, man, to
Mm.
catch the Lauryn Hill thing. Yeah, so it was actually Singapore Jazz Festival. I had never
Right.
been to that. And some people, part of my collective syndicate invited me, bro. They were opening for her. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to meet this lady named Malaysia, the homie Ill Truth, Robo Jupiter, Mojo Mojo, and, just a whole another slew of just, you know what I mean, ill motherfuckers, man.
So Lauren Hill doesn't do any shows there?
Where were you talking about out in the States?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a show out in the observatory. But I never would have had the chance to open up for her, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Maybe, but not like
At
that.
some point, I guess.
Yeah, at one point. And like I said, I figured it'd be a lot of tourists, too, across seas. I come from Los Angeles, and it's a perfect place. It's a perfect place, actually, to flourish,
Mm.
especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Mm.
That's one of the most, fertile grounds for success.
Mm.
I know this to be true, and that's something that I always will cherish.
Right.
However, if I don't get out from that sort of bubble, then I won't be able to connect everything else to it, just even more from a personable, in-person way, like from my own self.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you spoke of picking your own battles, right? Is life a battle in general? Is everything a battle or is it a journey?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes?
Unfortunately, life is a party, but at the end, the next day when you wake up, you got a lot of sobering up to do.
Right.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's designed that way, though, bro. It's like anything worth doing is worth the trouble. You know what I mean? You expect life to be a cakewalk, then you're delusional, honestly. And you put in that work so that you can play hard once you get done, once you work hard, but you're never done. And see, what the trick is making the work fun. Or letting the work be fun, because you're not making nothing, as I said before, bro. We just stewards of these energies. God, or rather I'll say the creator, universal, sovereign, and originator of all, is in control of all this shit, dog. So you ain't never controlling nothing. You might be feeling like you is. I mean, you can always manage well. However, just know that you did not enable the power that you're wielding. You may be utilizing it wisely, but the power itself is absolute.
Yeah.
And much respect, as well as to those that are able to maneuver within a field and set themselves as, I guess you could say, examples of the proper way to work.
Right. So coming from the LA, do you feel like being surrounded by the LA gives you a little bit of anxiety because there's a lot of people trying to make it out there, There's a lot of musicians, there's a lot of inspiring souls out there who's trying to...
A lot.
Yeah. Does it give you anxiety at times? Because here...
Never. Because me, man, I'm raw, bro.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about, homie? I just keep it completely cultivated. I cultivate abstract originality, and that is my main sort of, I guess you could say, just fucking motive. I guess you could say MO. That's my claim to fame. That is, you know what I'm saying? That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's my law. That's the law of life for me.
You need it
Yeah, I have to. It's like food to me to just be original, to always just come in a different type of way. Because there's nothing new under the sun. It's just different ways to do it.
Right. Okay. What is your deepest fear, though? I'm just curious.
The ocean.
The ocean.
Yeah. You ever been in the ocean, bro?
The ocean, like diving in or swimming?
Have you ever been in the ocean?
No, it's crazy, right? It's like the unknowns.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. That and motherfucking not finding real love in my life. Not having the opportunity to experience like a real affair, like a real few affairs, maybe even simultaneously. That'd be real fun. That'd be kind of exciting. It's not mandatory, but it may be mandatory. You never know.
Yeah. So, do you think it's a journey still, or you have sort of found it already? Love.
No, I've been approached. I've encountered like unwavering, like, you know, like I guess you could say irreprehensible connections with lovely counterparts in my life. And it was for that time. I read somewhere the love of a woman and a bottle of wine are good for a time. You know what I mean? A love of a woman's like a bottle of wine. Both are good for a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it lasts longer than other times.
All right. I guess you have to know how to use it, like not to finish it at once, I guess.
Well, nothing lasts forever, man.
Yeah.
It's all about your taste. It's all about your consumption.
Right. Okay. Who's your biggest mentor in life?
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Why is that? Be water,
'Cause
my
he
friend.
was so disciplined. Water, yes.
Be water,
Yes,
my
be
friend.
Water, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce Lee, John Lennon, Steve Biko, motherfucking Osiris, or as we call him, Asar. My mentors. Actually, I had some like current, like lifetime mentors, like Kim, Roy Kim, like Mark Sampson, like Tony Paz, like Hilda Spragan, who was my first sensei.
Right on.
You know what I mean? Who took me to Africa, inside the pyramids, on the Nile River, to recite poetry to the sheiks.
You've been to the pyramids.
Yeah, man.
Cool, dude. Like pyramids, like okay, comparing all of the places that you've been to.
No comparison.
No, I mean combining. Sorry, combining all the places that you've been to. What are the common lessons that you've learned so far, man?
That everything is everything, man, and that we all are here together. Also, that love is real, bro.
Love is real.
Yeah, and a woman's smile is priceless, as well as so very essential. When I went to Africa, bro, I remember I saw this girl, she was making rugs, and she smiled at me like in a way, and I was like, wow, like, that's the same where I come from.
Yeah.
You totally, it's a whole nother place, but that still feeling is the same.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I learned, man.
Right. Love is real. Okay.
That's the first time, that's one of the first experiences where I began to learn that.
Yeah. How young were you then?
I was like 9.
No, what?
I was like 9 years old.
Holy shit.
Yeah, summer 9 years old, just before I could turn 10. Just before I got my first piece of punani.
Right. So, okay, you're 34 years young right now, right? If you could turn back time to when you were 17, bro, how would you relive your life differently? How would you do things differently if you were 17 right now?
I can't really answer that question, man, because it's
Like, I know life has no regrets, but
Yeah.
for real, if you could live it differently at a certain way, how would you live it differently?
I would do more for my mom.
Yeah?
You know, because she's retired recently, you know what I mean? And I really wanted to try to, you know, preempt that action for her. You know, I didn't want her to make it all the way to retirement. In fact, she kind of sped up the process. Like, she was in rush, you know. She could have kind of held out, but I mean, I give it up to my moms, you know what I'm saying? She did a lot for me and my siblings. And, man, like, she sacrificed so much. And so just, that's one thing that's on my heart. Sometimes, you know, when I think about the time that's left for me and how it's not promised, and the time that's left for her, bro, and the time that she's already spent, you know what I mean? That's something I would do different. It's like, make sure that all of these different ideas I have and plans that I have in motion, I would have been more sincere, a little bit more, like, you know what I'm saying, sure in the steps that I took, a little bit more exacting in I guess you could say the immediate response and results. Because don't get me wrong, I see it all. I see it all in my mind. I see it all in my vision and my dreams. You know what I mean? It's happening. But it's like, you can't. I don't want to have to tell my mom that. I want to be able to say, here, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
And then tell her that, too.
Yeah.
And that's possible. So, you know what I mean? If I could do anything different, that'd be that.
Do more for your mom.
For my moms, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
What advice do you have for like a high school graduate who don't know what to do with their life? This could be from people
Finish high school.
people all over the world. It could be from the States, from Malaysia, from anywhere, Europe, anywhere, that they just done with high school and they were influenced by the media, like college is a waste of time. And yeah, you just go out there and do the work. What about you, man? Do you have any advice for these people?
No, I have no advice, because you know what? The world is their oyster, and they're going to learn their own lesson. And they're going to have axioms, and they'll come to different appreciations that I can learn from, even before they get to the age that I am. So my only advice is to don't look back and listen to your inner self and stay true to yourself and go for the goal, man, and follow, you know what I'm saying? Trust your gut.
So when do we have to use our mind? When do we have to think it through? And when do we follow our instinct, intuition?
Every day in the morning, as soon as you wake up. Take some time to, you know what I mean?
Intuition first or the mind first? Think about it or feel it? Which one is
Oh,
more
man.
important?
Oh, you got to feel it.
You gotta feel it.
Gotta feel it. Yeah. I mean, I feel like every thought is a feeling anyway.
Okay.
It's influenced. It starts as a feeling.
Right. So you feel it, then you change your thought based on your feelings, I guess.
Yeah, that absolutely happens. And it happens more subconsciously than we even realize. And so that's why we got to become more masters of that bridge, of that particular connection, because that's life in itself. That's really dictates your experience, bro. Is your feelings versus your thoughts. You know? Because really it's like you be thinking all this shit because you feel a certain way. When if you just really kind of assess how you felt about it, then you can think better about it, and your thoughts would just become more, you know what I mean, more healthy.
Right. Huh.
Yeah, dog.
Okay,
You asked us some good questions, man.
I'm sure you're aware of Kanye West, right? Pop
Of course,
culture
yes,
these days.
yes. The college dropout.
Yeah.
We call him Ye.
Yay. What are your thoughts on him in general?
Kanye to the.
Yeah, as a human being, as a
I
creative.
don't know him personally, so I can't speak on his humanity. I know he's a fucking genius. I know that. I know he stays in the news, and we stay talking about him. So recognize that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It ain't been a year you ain't spoke Kanye name since he dropped. So we can all learn something from that.
Right on.
Bang bang.
So Kanye is a legend then. Is he?
I like Kanye because it's like he's still living, so he can't be legendary yet.
So do you think one day he'll be a Walt Disney, a Steve
I doubt
Jobs?
it. Honestly, I think he actually maneuvers his brand, his, I guess you could say, allure, in a way that makes you love to hate his ass. And that's masterful.
Yeah, any publicity is a good publicity, right?
No, bad publicity is better than good publicity.
Okay,
You know
right
what I
on.
mean? Yeah, you ever seen that movie Glengarry Glen Ross?
Right. You mentioned you have 2 kids, right? You said you have 2 kids?
I said I have 2 sons.
2 sons.
However, I have 2 sons.
2 sons, all right.
And happy birthday, Milo, man. He's coming up. He has your name.
What's that?
Oh, you have his name.
Milo?
Yes, sir. It's my
Holy
son's
shit.
Yeah, our first son's name is Miles Everest, yo. Me first. And we call him Milo.
What up,
And his
Milo?
birthday's coming up. Yeah, shout out to me, Milo, man, for the and the most absolutely.
Happy birthday. And this question's for you, Milo. All right. So if this would be the last video you've ever recorded and this would be the last interview that you've ever done, and this is gonna be the last moment that your kids is gonna see
From Milo
from Milo to Milo,
as well as Mali.
yeah, what would your advice be for your young children, man,
Don't do what I did.
to live on this beautiful life that is
Well,
what
this won't be the last interview, and I will see them in
most
person.
valuable recorded piece of advice that you'll be able to speak in front of the camera for your kids, for Milo? What would it be, man? What would the advice be?
I love you. I don't know, man. That's a big question, man.
Yeah,
That's a very big question, but I'm a thank you, and I'm gonna take the opportunity to say something.
cool.
And what I'll say is, last piece of advice, last thing I can say to my children, something that my grandmother told me. Her name was Olivia Marie D'Antignac. You never met her because she took her life on Christmas one year, the same year Tupac died. She told me, she saw me crying one time because my sister was trapped in Las Vegas. Her dad had stole her from us. And my mom was getting ready to have to go retrieve her. And I was still young. It was nothing too much I could do, even though I had a lot of rage inside of me. I started crying, and my grandmother said to me, she said, sometimes it's good for a man to cry. And she also told me something else. She said, never say you're sorry, because you're not sorry. You're far from sorry. You're majestic. If anything, you can apologize only if you mean it. But you don't owe an apology to anybody but God. And it's better not to say it, but to do it. And marriage is forever.
Pot of gold.
Bang.
Pot of gold,
Happy
bro.
birthday, Milo. Miss you, man. I love you much.
Right on.
Man.
If you were given $1 million, $1 million US right now, what would you do with the money, man?
Well, I probably invested, bro. I would like to say I'd give a bunch of it to charity. However, I'll probably flip it in order to be able to give more to charity later.
Yeah.
Or, at the same time.
Uh-huh.
I would celebrate Milo's birthday in a stellar fashion.
Milo's birthday, huh?
Yeah.
Right on.
Right now, shoot, we'll be, we'll be good. I'll get him a motorcycle. We'll be taking motorcycle rides right now. What would you do with $1 million?
$1 million, I'll buy a land in New Zealand, man. I'll buy a farm in New Zealand for sure.
Fancy.
Yeah, man.
That's easy.
Yeah. Avocado farms. See the avocados or cherries? I'm thinking about
Simple yet dynamic.
it. Yeah. All right.
I like your style, man.
Thanks, bro.
Milo.
Cool. And okay, because you touched a little bit about those dark days that your grandma had, right?
Yeah, man.
I want to talk about that for a second, if you don't mind. Like, for those people who's having a dark days, who's contemplating suicide, like contemplating life in general, like, what kind of advice do you have for them to see the light, man? Because it doesn't have to be black and white. It can be as subjective as you want to be. But I want that input to come from you. What are your advice for these young lads, or maybe the old ones who has given up in life? You know what I mean?
I would say, for one, I'm going to have two answers to that.
Okay,
I
right.
don't know what the second one is just yet, but I know it's more and different than what I would think initially.
Okay.
And thank you for asking me that question. Because, like I said, life is love and love is light. So there only is light, homie. You know what I'm saying? All frequency and vibration is light itself. All right? So my advice to those, or I guess you could say my suggestion to those that feel like giving up or sometimes find themselves in a dark place, is to keep it real. And it may seem like a strange sort of process or practice because reality sometimes can be heavy, kind of intimidating, a little bit, it can leave you kind of stranded sometimes. However, once you can embrace reality uh, completely and kind of and let go and just say, you know what will happen, will let, you know what I'm saying? I guess you could say what that one is, say la vie, or what will happen will happen. I forget the French term and how to say
Okay.
that. I need to learn that term.
Like
But
it's inevitable. Like what's gonna happen will happen. Whatever.
yes,
Just-
and you worrying about it is not going to change it.
Right.
What will change your fate is you mastering your destiny. And the only way you can do that is by embracing reality. So it's like sometimes the real, it can be scary. It can seem scary. But fear is the number one enemy. It's the opposite of love. So I say love is like a lot, you know what I mean? However, it's like at the same time, there's many stages. And my second order of concern would be to just take your time. You know what I'm saying? Brace yourself. Don't forget to breathe. Make time to breathe.
Yeah, because sometimes our environment, the fast pace, do, grind it out, like make it work, make it happen, can give a little bit, actually a lot of anxiety actually for these young people at 2018, man.
That's the way it's designed because there's so
Yeah.
much power in the young imagination, in the young spirit, in the young reality, perspective, consciousness.
Yeah.
I mean, that just goes to show the danger of there being free thought, of there being unrelinquished, unfiltered and unharnessed, just expression, or not even expression, but just, you know what I'm saying? Enrichment, or I guess you could say liberation, bro. It's like the evolution of humanity, the evolution of the human organism is inevitable. We're either going to devolve or we're going to evolve towards the better or worst. So I don't believe God will create a human being on earth for it not to end up being the best way. And so that's just something that you can believe in. And just, I mean, the universe is in your corner. It's going to take steps with you. Just know that and just trust in that. And even with the worst thing that you could ever imagine happening, you can see yourself getting through it without losing yourself to your response to it, your reaction.
So have faith, take your time, have a little breather, right? Relax,
Always.
meditate, I guess.
Yeah, meditation is, you meditate regardless, but you want to manage the I guess you could say the mechanism that is your subconscious thinking. Because you're doing a lot of subconscious thinking with outside of your control, outside of your own influence or direction. However, if you can sort of move yourself into the driver's seat more times, and more times than not, then a whole world of possibilities open for you, man. A lot of positivity is open for you. You know what I mean? It's like a flood of positivities, almost. It's too much to even to handle, or even I guess you could say accept alone. You gotta share it, and you're gonna naturally share it because the world's gonna flock to you. Your surrounding community is gonna flock to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens naturally. So that's another thing too that I would tell my kids. You're an example whether you realize it or you want to be or not. You are an example. Whether you make yourself an example or something else makes you an example.
Word.
Word.
Thanks. Wow. Interesting. So meditation actually gives you the ability to direct your own life, right?
Yeah, man. It's so funny. It's so funny how something so simple, just like a physical exercise, can activate the gate to your spirituality, to your mentality. And I'm no expert, bro. I'm not a perfect person.
Mm.
I do feel like you can perfect your experience though, and kind of customize it to the benefit of the occurrences in your life. I know that, and that's something I truly believe. And karma has to do with intention. You know, your action is part of your karma, but more so than even what you do, but why you do what you do. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, a lot of us kind of act out or put on a show a lot of times so that someone else may be able to say, oh, this motherfucker did this. But it's like, if your intention's not right, you know what I mean? You're not even really doing what it is that you're doing.
Get your intentions right.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta understand, like I said, everything you do affects everybody else. But you gotta live for you first in order for you to be whole. Because wholeness is important. Oneness is important to everyone else because, of course, we are all one. So it's kind of like a dual sort of action in that you're becoming one and also speaking to the oneness of everything and everyone.
Right on.
This happens simultaneously. So that's why meditation is also good, breathing itself, because really when you start to develop and you start to build and true growth within that inner voice and inner breath, meditation is just the next step. It's just basically kind of like if you start to draw and you start to like to draw, you're going to become an illustrator. And then you might even become an architect. And you might even become a map maker. You know what I'm saying? You might even, you know what I mean, patent a new formula of drawing.
Yeah.
It just takes that added endeavor.
Okay, so let's say they got out of that state, right? They from the dark place, they got out, and now they're neutralized. Now they're seeking inspiration. So where do they get that from, man? Is that cannabis? Is that weed or drugs? Sometimes they go for that because they think like, oh, this is the only solution for my inspiration. Any other alternatives that you suggest for these people?
Alternatives.
Mm-hmm. Inspiration.
Stay true to yourself, yo. As long as you stay true to yourself, your own, I guess you could say, your own copulation, your own consumption will regulate itself. You know, your consciousness itself will speak to you. I don't speak against any sort of enhancements, inducements. I say I'm 100 proof uninduced. You know, it's like you got to be able to purify without anything. You got to be able to know that what you're doing and what you're saying is you completely. And so if you can know that, then by all means, you know, to each his own. Honestly, I mean, you think about cannabis. What does cannabis do? It amplifies your own conscious connectivity. You know, it's just that's all it does. It's just going to enhance whatever's there. If you sad, you're just going to get even sadder. If you're mad, you're just going to get more angry. If you're happy, you're going to get more silly. You know what I mean? So if you are focused, you're going to get more focused. But it's all you firstly. So it's like, don't compromise the intensity of your own engagement, of your own, you know what I'm saying, if your own, I say potency. Of your own potency, because it's all within you regardless. And it does take discipline, man. This world is not designed, like I said, even it says in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said to Arjuna, which is where we even get the first instructions for transcendental meditation. He says, in this time of Kali, or Kala, of which we're speaking, where it's chaotic, it's not even practical to expect to be able to meditate. So it takes a warrior to even come to a point to where you can have peace of mind completely. It's always going to be an ongoing sort of edging towards, a climb up to. And you're never at the peak until you are completely just like, so, you know what I mean? You just completely are and solace,
Mm.
which is possible
Yeah.
if you are serious enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta be serious, man. You know what I mean? If you serious, it's like you might blow some trees, but you ain't finna do no crystal meth. Because crystal meth have your shit everywhere. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Cocaine have you feeling synthetic because it's a synthetic sort of opiate mixed with all these different additives and whatnot. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna do no heroin because it's like that shit is just have you all over the place too. But you might do some heroin because that also enhances your connectivity, but it's more physical. You know what I mean? It's all about endorphins, man, and enzymes, bro. You know, it's all physical. It starts with the body, but that's not where it ends at. And so anytime you take a material substance, then you're kind of limiting your, you know what I'm saying, your potency.
Mm.
Because the body is just the first start. Life is going to designate that discipline and that balance. So you just can't be selfish. When it comes down to it, you have to be selfish sometimes, but you just got to know why you're being selfish, and it has to be a conscious decision. Sometimes you say, you know what, hey, I got to go in and go hard for myself so that I can even be able to do more good for other people, or even just within my own life and my own direct family.
Mm.
And that is respectable, you know?
So fill your cup first and then let it overflow for other people, I guess.
Absolutely.
Mm.
However, you can always just drink straight from the stream too.
Right. How can people find you on social media, man? Like your personal.
Go to Cali Quotes. That's KALY _ KUOTEZ, spelled ghetto, at Instagram. Also, man, if you want to pick up some apparel with different, I guess you could say, just positive sentences, positive phrases. Oh yeah, this is one of them. Yeah, this is like the catalog, man. You can keep this.
Yeah.
Here's some T-shirts right here,
Yeah,
man.
he sells T-shirt, huh?
These are pages from a book, man, where I have some poetry. It's my first actual endeavor into publishing.
No fear,
My
no
word,
shame,
so.
no guilt, no blame.
No fear, no shame, no guilt, no blame. Facts
Good.
versus feelings.
This is-
Facts over
this is
feelings.
cool, man.
Warriors versus soldiers.
Okay. You also wrote a book, am I right?
Yes.
Those were the positive quotes and all
Those,
that.
yes, these quotes are actually from pages of the book.
So the books you got inspiration from the younger days, or was
Life,
it a
man.
collective?
It's just different things that I've kind of picked up, different things that meant something to me, and I felt like would interest other people that have an affinity for reality, who are truth seekers, who are light bearers, who are also creatives, even poetically, because I'm a poet. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily so much of a writer, honestly. You know what I mean? I'm a rhymer, bro.
Yeah.
Before anything else, but I did study poetry as a young person.
Cool.
I've always studied great minds of poetic accolades. And, you know, I even would memorize poetry and recite it in theater settings, you know what I mean, on stage as a young kid. So this is not something that I'm just, you know what I mean, that I'm new to. It's just something that I feel like I want to, I guess you could say, consider and just acknowledge the power of,
Right on.
the influence that it could lead to,
Okay.
and just respect that. But the name of the book is called Just In Case You Were Wondering.
Just in case you were
Go
wondering.
to www.justincaseyourewondering.info.
.info. Cool.
Yes, yes.
All right. Before I ask you the last question, I'm gonna flip the script for a moment and let you ask me anything that come across your mind. It could be anything, but two rules. It cannot be about the podcast
Oh, really?
because everyone has been asking that.
Of
So the
course.
answers are all there. And rule number 2 is it can be the question that I asked you today.
And none of the questions you asked me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything at all.
Let's see. Who's your favorite rapper, bro?
My favorite rapper.
Who's the best rapper in the game to you?
Favorite rapper, I would say Tyler the Creator, man.
Really?
Yeah. Bit of Russ, R-U-S-S. Something very melodic.
Oh, you saying the artist Russ?
Yeah.
I've heard of Russ, yo. I
Yeah,
like that song,
Russ.
Drive Slow.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like that one song, Nobody's Taking My Baby.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And you should give like Do It Myself a listen, man. Do It Myself.
Oh yeah, I actually have heard that song, Do It Myself.
Do it. He
The
made.
video's nuts.
Yeah, dude. He made everything
Yo,
himself.
They
man.
hype on that bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, but you should actually interview Tyler. That'd be a good person for the show.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
At some
you got the
point.
colors and all that. Yeah. Wolf
Tyler,
Gang,
the creator on my show.
Golf
Wow.
Gang.
Yeah, golf. On to the last question. Is that you can answer this. Answer this within the span of 3 minutes. All right.
I'll try.
What is energy? Do you believe in reincarnation? And where do you see yourself in 10 years? That's 3 questions actually, but within a span of 3 minutes.
I think the answer to that question is all the same. And the answer is actually the question itself.
Come on, bro. Give the gems
Hey.
out, man. Bring the gems out.
Yo, that's what up, man. You know, gems are valuable, man. You know, are a commodity. And we appraise these gems. You know what I mean? Energy itself is love, man. Life is love and love is light. Yeah, energy is love, bro. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, man, it's a reason for everything. And so that's the way I see it, bro. That's the way I associate it. And that's what I reference it to. Energy for me is absolutely love, because it takes love for you to sacrifice your day towards the greater good, towards the betterment of life itself. You know what I mean? Because it's like there's 2 types of people on earth, and I'm more so the worst type of person, and that is one who cares more about his life than life himself, and those who care about life more than they do their own life. Because really, it's no difference. It's really no difference. And those that can make that differentiation are the ones who wield love the best, who connect and communicate as well as resonate with love most masterfully in the most just, I guess you could say, fun type of way. You know, it's a science to it, man. Honestly. Do I believe in reincarnation? I don't want to say yes or no, honestly. Because I think to say no is like cursing yourself. I know that I believe in ascension. I believe that you can overcome reincarnation. But I do feel like if you don't, then it may have to be you know what I mean? It might have to be, that might be the case for some people. But I don't think it's the case for everybody, honestly. That's just how I feel about it. And where do I see myself in 10 years? In New Zealand, bruh. You know what I mean? With a farm next to your farm.
Right on. See you in New Zealand, man.
Word.
Right. Thank you so much, Duan, for coming out with the
Nah, man,
podcast.
thank you. Much gratitude.
Hello, Kopi Kumula podcast with Duan, a.k.a.
Ceremonious.
Ceremonious. All right.
Circumstantial,
I'm
man.
just going to do this.
Or you can call me once only.
Try this thing out, man. Click. Take some 1, 2, 3, and you do a swag. Bang. Swag. Okay, one more time.
Okay. And
Click.
now I want to try to snap the fingers like together, like, but I don't
Okay.
know if we can get that one.
Okay.
Anyway, snap.
Swag. Thank you, Duan.
No,
Appreciate it.
Milo.
All right.
Oh man, that was amazing.
Thanks, bro.
That was amazing, man. You got a great thing going here, man.
Thank you.
Yes,
you.
sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Yo,
Hope it
man.
grows into something bigger in the future, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
Yeah?
I'm absolutely sure. I'm slipping, man.
Oh, good, bro.
Hey, thank you, by the way, man, for inviting me, you know what I mean, and approaching me about this, or rather allowing me to initiate, or rather to involve myself.
Yeah, man. For sure.
Hello, Kopi
Yeah.
Kumula podcast. Milo Fico signing out.